Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the DraftKings DFS preview for the Masters 2024 DB. Pat Perry. Pat, it is our 9th Masters preview. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Masters DFS DraftKings preview.
I like how you used your hands to count. That was good. It's amazing that we've gotten through 9 years and we haven't killed each other. That looks like a great podcast.
Bro, let me tell you, this is a strong pour, añejo and a little bit of Perrier with some lime in it.
I'm on the Tito's. Look, DB, we said this last week. We have not drank a lot of podcast juice this year on shows.
Yeah.
But if we're going to drink podcast juice, it needs to be on the Masters show, which obviously I'm excited about. But I've got some Tito's, and I'm ready to go, DB. Ready to go.
Me too, man. We had a good betting show. It's going to be a good show tonight. We're obviously going to go through all the ranges. We're going to talk through where we think the chalk is going to be. We're going to talk through our favorite cash plays. We're even going to give our favorite cash lineup and see who can outdo each other. We've got talks about some pivot plays in tournaments, some fades. We're definitely going to have that. We're going to do a 6K draft of our favorite 6K players. We also have a ton of giveaways tonight. We're doing 3 big giveaways I'm going to get to in a second. But it's a big week, so that means there's a lot of announcements. Don't skip because there's announcements. We don't want you to miss anything, okay? Now, if you've already listened to the betting show, you probably already heard it, so you can skip, okay? Now you can skip. But there's a lot of stuff going on. First of all, we are recording this. You should know. We're recording this on Saturday night. So we're 3 rounds through the LIV event in Miami and Doral. We're 3 rounds through the Valero Texas Open Saturday night. And the DFS landscape is just going to begin taking shape this weekend. So obviously a lot of things are going to change. That's why it's important to continue tracking what's going on. Be a subscriber to the email lists. Follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Most importantly, be in the Discord because the Discord is where it's all going down this week, Pat. We've got some special things planned in the Discord this week, as we do for every major and all the signature events. We do have a special guest chatting with us on Wednesday night. He is GS Luke. He is the prop god. He's so good at props, good at DFS, betting, all the above. He's going to be a special guest with us on Wednesday night. Of course, all our funny friends in the Discord and the Nut Hut are going to be there as well. I'm sure our boy Kenny McAndress will pop in. Me and you will do that chat live Wednesday night. That should be a fantastic chat. Rumor has it, you announced on the betting show that your dad, P. Perry Sr., could make an appearance. We hope
he could. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to the Masters Tuesday, to the National Tuesday with your brother. I will work on him all day Tuesday and make sure we get DirecTV Perry in there. We could have a whole family affair of Perrys and a gaggle of Perrys up in the distance.
It would be fantastic if we could do that. Yeah, you got to talk to DirecTV while y'all are out there. How come I didn't get to go?
You gave us your tickets.
Oh. Okay. Well,
thank you.
Anyway, I'm glad y'all are getting to go and have some fun with that. So.
Yeah, if you see us out there on Tuesday, holler at us, and I'll take a beer. I like the crow's nest, so that's what I want, and a barbecue sandwich. What else going on? Okay, so we have after every round, we're gonna have additional Discord content, showdown content, prop stuff, all the goody live bets. There could be an additional chat throughout the week. Stay tuned for that. Our boy Byron, the Model Maniac, will be dropping in all his goodies every single day, every single round. Tons of research content going in the Discord. The Discord is going to be where it's at. That's where you're going to be able to keep up with all the things that are happening, all the things that are changing every single day of leading up to the tournament. I will listen and watch all the player interviews. I did that last year and relay all the important things into the chat, so you don't have to waste your time doing that. It's going to be a good week. We are going to make an appearance on the Joe Pompliano show on Monday. Joe Pomp, we love Joe Pomp. If you see that interview, we'd love for you to shout us out, retweet it, share it on Instagram, comment on YouTube, whatever, make us look good. Same thing. I will be on the Hammer Dine show with the Pat McAfee boys on Wednesday, I believe. So shout me out there. Hopefully I get to, get the call up to the big leagues to go talk to Mr. McAfee himself, but we'll see how that goes. It'll be a busy week for us. I'm looking forward to it, but definitely appreciate all the Tour Junkies faithful looking out. And listen, it's a big week for us. Share anything you can. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, you see anything, share it, like it, share it, pass it on, tell a friend. There's a lot of people that get into the Masters and it's the first golf tournament they watch or listen to content about all year. It's a big week for us. So, let people know, tell them like, hey, you're in a Masters pool. You're in a Calcutta. You're doing a pick through each column thing. You're doing a little bit of a DFS lineup. You're betting. You need to check out my guys at Tour Junkies. That would be awesome for us. It would help us a lot. It's the best way you can support us is by telling people about it. So please do so. Pat, do I got anything to add there? You good?
Did you mention the FGS?
No. People are like, FGS? What's FGS? Hey, what's FGS?
What is the FGS? What is FGS? What could FGS possibly stand for? We're talking about DFS. We got all these anacronyms.
Anacronyms.
Damn it. We're only 6 minutes into the show.
Acronyms. Oh dear.
Tony, edit that.
No. Oh yeah, he's gonna edit it. All right. He's gonna edit it. It will be a drop for the rest of the year.
Son of a.
And I'm guessing
this is why podcast use is so good. This is why we need podcast use when we do this. Anyway, the FGS, the Fantasy Golf Sommelier, which I used to do a lot of. It started as I wrote an article, and then I did a video, and then it just kind of dwindled out a little bit. But I'm bringing it back for the Masters, DB, and excited to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may do DFS plays. I may do underdog plays. I may do bets. I may combine them all. But I am going to do an FGS, which is going to give you some wine knowledge because I am a sommelier.
Of course.
In a sense, in my own mind. And then I'm going to give you some plays for the week. So I'm excited to do the FGS again. Probably going to drop either Monday night or Tuesday because I'm going to record Monday sometime. And I've got to be drinking, obviously. So it's got to be like Monday night. I can't do it like Monday morning. It's hard to drink wine in the morning. There are a lot of things that you can drink during the day, DB. Like people talk about like you go to an airport and you can drink at any time in an airport. But I feel like
Dude,
wine
at Augusta, when I get there on Tuesday, it'll be so easy to have a beer at like 10 a.m.
10 a.m. beer.
Yeah.
What do you think you could have a 10 a.m. glass of wine?
No, but I also can't have a 10 p.m. glass of wine.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, I just feel like wine is an evening thing. So I got to record at night. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah, and there will be outtakes for that, I can assure you, people.
Yeah.
So there will definitely be outtakes for that, and I'm looking forward to that. That is dropping. We've also, don't forget, we've got the email that dropped. If you didn't get the email that went out on Friday, you can still click the link. There's a link in the description. It's on our Beehive blog page. It is a intense Masters research email to get you all lathered up, okay? It's the biggest one we've ever done. Trends, stats, things to know, blah, blah, blah. There's some DFS info in there that I'm going to go over a little bit of it today here on the show, but you want to go check that out if you have not already. Link in the description. And also, if you're looking for a full course preview, hey guys, why aren't we talking about the course and key stats and blah, blah, blah? We're going to talk a little stats. We're going to open up our screen, share our screens here in a little bit, show you a couple goodies. But I did a lot of that in the Augusta National course breakdown video that is on the YouTube channel and on the podcast feed. If you haven't listened to that, it's about 28 minutes, I think. I tell you only what you need to know, nothing you don't. Key stats, quotes, trends, deep dive into the golf course. Kind of start to toss out a few things that I think are myths about the course. Some things that I think we're starting to see change about Augusta National, how that applies to handicapping it. So you want to make sure you check that out too. All right, I think we're getting there. Let's do some giveaways. Don't skip because we're about to give away 3 things, and it's really easy to get one of these 3 things. 3 things we're gonna give away. Here we go. First one, Pat. We got some TJ stuff we're gonna give away.
Yeah,
we're gonna bundle all of this. The first thing we're going to do is give you a beer sleeve. You want to go to the course, hide your beer from your club that pisses you off and says you can't do it because they want you to overpay for beer. Put it in that beer sleeve. You can get 6 of them in there, keep it cold, slide it in your bag. Nobody's got to know. Then we're going to give you a red Tour Junkies snapback hat that is sick. Right there. Look at Pat. Look, Pat would look so good in a snapback if he would do it. Then we're going to give you the Azalea Polo, official Tour Junkies polo by our friends at Pins and Aces. The Azalea Polo is beautiful. You got to be a real man to wear that thing, but that's a Masters polo if I've ever seen one right there. Then we're going to give you a putter cover. Sick Tour Junkies putter cover. If you don't have a blade, give it to somebody or go buy a blade because you just rather would have the putter cover. It's a great putter cover. All right, so we're going to give you that bundle. Here's all you got to do to get it. Just get in the Discord. Even the free version. Most of the times we do a contest, you got to do the paid version. Even the free version. We're going to pick somebody in the free or paid version to win that bundle by the end of next week. So hop in there. Just come say hello. Just come swim around. Like I said on the betting show, the free version of the Discord does actually get a few perks. And for Masters Week, like in the free version, we don't show you the nipple. Okay. We show you cleavage.
You said that they get perks.
They do. So what I mean by that too is so they get a little cleavage. That's the perk. That's a little bit of perk. But Masters Week, we kind of like press them together and push them up a little bit,
and then we show them off.
So you really like that,
yeah.
So it's a good reason to be in there. And then eventually you're going to be like, okay, just show me the whole thing. Just do this, and that's how you pay. That's when you pay for the Discord, and then you really see the value. So all you got to do is get in the Discord, even the free version, link in the description. Second giveaway, we're going to give you a free year to Bet the Number, the best up-and-coming golf data and analytics site there is. These guys launched January 1st. They're already crushing it, okay? All of our stats, all of our data, everything we're going to show you tonight is going to come from Bet the Number. It's the best golf handicapping platform you could have. It's the only tool you need outside of our Discord. We're going to give you a free year to that. That's like a $250 to $300 value, depending on if you use our code. That's a big deal. All you got to do for that is follow us on SoBet. For those of you that have been watching us, listening to us for a while, we've been partnered with SoBet for over a year. We're rolling with them all through this year. Great people over there. If you are betting on anything in any capacity, you need to be on SoBet. There is a link in the description of the video and the podcast. And listen, they're crushing it over there. So join SoBet. The code TJ gets you access for $1 for the first month. Okay, then you can cancel anytime. It's $10 a month. Trust me, you won't regret it. So all you got to do is get on SoBet and follow us, and we will draw someone on SoBet, and you will get a free year to Bet the Number. Third and final giveaway, Pat. I'm going to show the people something. We're going to give you a $100 gift card to our friends at Swannies. That's right, the best golf apparel. Our friends at Swannies, they just dropped the North Loop connection. They did the Boom Island drop collection, not connection. They did the Boom Island drop a couple weeks ago. All kind of goodies there. You got stuff for the ladies. If you got a girl, a woman in your life that wants to wear some sick golf apparel. Oh, it's a lady.
Hello, lady.
Hello, lady. Yes, what is your query? You want some great golf apparel? The ladies man said you should go to swannies.co. Anyway, you can get a $100 gift card to Swannies for any of this stuff. They got junior stuff, all kind of good stuff on Swannies. All you have to do to win that one is rate and review on Apple or Spotify. That's it. Just give us a review. Rate, review the Tour Junkies podcast. That's it. We're going to draw someone who does that. We're going to give you a $100 Swannies gift card. That's it. Those are the 3 contests. Do it. Please. Please do it.
Please.
Now we said please, and we're giving you gifts. What else do you need?
Yeah. What do you want? Other than winners, we can give you those too.
Okay. You want a winner? Let's talk, Pat. Let's talk about it. I'm going to actually pull up our Masters research email here, and let's take a look back. Let's look back at the 2023 Masters. There we go. Some DFS takeaways. I'm just going to give you a little bit here, just a sprinkle. There's a lot more in the email, but just a sprinkle. Obviously, John Rahm won the Masters, right? Guess who finished second in DraftKings scoring last year, Pat?
It wasn't Phil.
It was not Phil. He was
though Phil did finish second.
He was third in DraftKings points scored.
I'm gonna say Koepka.
He was also third. Jordan Spieth
Oh, wow. Okay.
was second in DraftKings points scored, beat Koepka and Phil by a point. You had Brooks, you had Phil, you had Reed, and you had Joaquin Niemann, 4 live players in the top 10 DraftKings point scores. That was a huge takeaway last year from everybody. Everybody's like, oh my God, the live guys are actually good. They're still good at golf. Of the top 10 DraftKings point scorers, there were 5 under 10% average GPP ownership. So that was interesting. With 5 of the top 10 point earners at $7,800 or below, especially some of those cheap live guys. That was kind of the big theme there. On the flip side, as you look at the top 10 highest owned golfers, the biggest disappointment at 26% average ownership was definitely Rory McIlroy. But actually, when was the last time you were disappointed by Scottie Scheffler? I mean, I bet even Meredith barely remembers the last time she was disappointed by Scottie Scheffler. But, he was 11-1 last year. He was 26% owned. He finished 10th in the tournament, but he finished 13th in DraftKings points scored. He didn't come close to paying off last year.
Yeah.
There were really only 3 golfers of the top 10 highest owned that paid off. Spieth, Victor Hovland, both at 17%, and Jon Rahm at 16%. Those were the 3 guys. Only 3 that paid off. Your perfect lineup would have been Rahm, Spieth, Koepka, Reed, Henley, and obviously Phil. You would have left about $1,200 on the table and around 64% total ownership. Kind of a DFS flashback there. A couple things to remember there. Remember, you're trying to win a GPP. Most of you. You can't fade all the chalk. You can't play all the chalk. You probably need to pick and choose a little bit of the chalk to play. Chalk can be relative based on price range, where they fall in the pricing. And also, it doesn't hurt to leave some salary on the table. Don't blow all your $50K. Try to be unique. There's not a lot of golfers in the Masters. There's only like 89 players or something. Top 50 in ties are going to make the cut, play the weekend. It's going to be a high 6-6 percentage, more than likely. The weather looks pretty solid all week, so I don't think we're going to get any weird weather carnage or anything. So take some stands. Know that you can't play everybody. Keep the pool I like the pool nice and tight. Let's have a big week or we don't have a big week, right? Well, what else, Pat? Anything else, like just in general, just some general high-level takeaways for Masters and DFS?
Well, look, Masters is one of those just unique golf tournaments where you have, certainly course history always kind of plays a big factor. I think when you look at in general, I do think there are players that can be in poor form, but all of a sudden they just pop up on the leaderboard come Masters week. We saw that last year with Phil Mickelson. There's been other cases for sure, because people get on this course. It's one we see every year. It's always in fantastic shape, and they just get out there, and all of a sudden they become happy golfers again.
Yeah,
they're just happy. I don't know what it is, and
it's
so
a happy place.
It's a happy place. So I think when you're building your lineups, you have to look at a few things that are outside of the box of where you normally might think. Like I love, like this week. I used to be, I hated stats. Well, now I'm actually a little more on the stats than I used to be. But this week I get to go with a little more feel. I get to go with a little more of these guys that I feel like just could have a good week out of nowhere. I don't know. And it's just shorter field, right? So you're going to have it's a lot of guys are going to make the cut. And so, what do we have? 90 players, DB?
89, I think.
89.
Yeah.
So a lot of players are going to make the cut. And so you got to understand how you can, benefit from that way. And so then you just, you go from there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, let's get into it. That was, there's an intro. There's a lot of stuff to cover. I know it was 20 minutes. People are going to be pissing and moaning about it, but Masters is always a big show. There's a lot of stuff to cover. So just quit your whining. All right, let's get on it, Pat. Let's look at the DraftKings slate, starting with Scottie Scheffler at 12-1, down to Hideki at 9K. It's a big range. let's just break it up. Let's talk about the 10K and above guys first. So that's Scotty, Rahm, Rory, Koepka, Wyndham, Clark. And let's talk, ownership first. Let's rank these guys. I think Scheffler's number one, even though he's 12-1. No reason he shouldn't be, honestly. I think 2 is going to be Brooks.
I think you're right.
I'm not sure about Rory and Rahm. I think Clark is going to be the lowest owned out of this bunch.
I think Rory is going to be 4th.
Okay.
And I think Rahm is going to be 3rd.
It'll be interesting to see how close Rahm falls to Rory, Brooks. Because, we don't usually get back-to-back winners at the Masters. I think 56 out of 59 of the last winners have not been back-to-back winners. So we don't usually get a back-to-back winner. Rahm has not gotten it done, not one on Live yet, and people are stunned by that. And at $900 more, I get Scotty. So I think Rahm could be a little sandwich there, but it just depends on how much. But I'd be interested in any of these guys, really, except I'm probably not going to play Rory. I know that comes as a big surprise to everyone.
Wow, what a shocker.
He's the only one I think I'm just completely out on. The other 4 I'm all in on. It just depends on lineup construction and ownership and what takes place throughout the rest of the week.
See, I'm actually kind of out on Wyndham Clark. We talked about this on the betting show, and I faded him. He was my fade in the season-long bet that we have. It's weird because I bet a lot of people don't know that Wyndham's never played here before. Like, you have to understand that last year was kind of a breakthrough year for him after the Masters.
Yeah.
And so he hasn't played here before. He had the little bit of a back injury in Houston a couple weeks ago. He says it's not a big deal, but it was something. Obviously, he was in great form with the second place finish 2 weeks in a row to Scotty. And it actually was close. Scotty didn't just boat race everybody. I mean, Wyndham was up there. But I do think this could be just a week where a guy like Wyndham playing in his first Masters and whatever else, it just doesn't go well for him. So I think I'm out on Wyndham. Obviously, I like Rory. I like Brooks. Rahm is the most interesting to me because I think people he's probably the newest big name player, past champion here last year to go to Live, right?
Yeah.
And so we haven't been necessarily paying attention to him a ton, but he's been up there. He hasn't won on Live yet, but he's been very close.
Yeah, he's been up there, and he's up there even now.
Yeah.
He's 4 behind Sergio right now. He's in 11th place.
Do you think? Is there any scenario where you get a little ownership leverage with Rahm?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be a ton because it's still John Rahm. People are going to still play John Rahm. But see, that's why it's going to be really hard for me to go to Rory because Rory's going to be higher owned than Rahm, and probably a few points more in ownership, and I would much rather have Rahm.
I don't know if it's going to be that much of a difference. I don't see.
I think it is.
Rory's been terrible lately.
Yeah, but he's T5 right now after 3 rounds in Texas. People like seeing that again.
But
all the things.
Don't give me the whole thing that it's Rory and everybody loves playing Rory because I don't think that's the case.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people hate Rory, including you.
They don't like. They may not. They may be a little irritated with how he's handled things over the last couple of years. But I would say his PR has improved of late. I mean, people are more on him because he's been a little more honest and stuff. I think people are kind of coming back around on Rory.
I don't know. I think people don't like him. I think people like you who wish Rory was in jail somewhere.
Oh God, I do not. On the Wyndham Clark thing, I am interested, but I can tell you that I'm not going to be super interested. It really is going to depend on what kind of leverage we're talking here because I mean, outside of winning the U.S. Open, his best major finish was like a 33rd. Now, obviously he's leveled up. We talked about that a lot last year. He won signature events. That's also not easy. It's not a major, but it's not easy. But I'm not gonna. I am very, very much on Team Brooks this week. I am way in on Brooks. I think Brooks wants. We all know that Brooks wants Augusta more than any other major. I think he wants to redeem himself for a really piss poor Sunday last year. I think this is Brooks' spot. So I'm going to be very heavy Brooks, and that will be chalk that I'm willing to take on for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. We talked about this on the betting show. Also, we both were all in on him at 18-1 or 20-1 or whatever number you're going to get him at. I think Brooks is. It's just very hard not to want to play him in DFS and not to bet on him, because when you think about it, what do you want from a guy up here in the 10K? What do you want from a guy as an outright? A freaking win, right?
Yeah.
And Brooks is the one up here that, other than like a Scotty, that you just feel like there's such a good chance that you're going to have that shot on Sunday with him.
Yeah. All right, let's talk 9K range, because sorting this bunch out is interesting. From Xander to Decky.
Mm-hmm.
Are those two are going to be the most popular in this range? I mean, Xander at 99, considering how well he's been playing, how well he's played at Augusta. Xander probably, I mean, I would rather, like, if I were pricing things, I would have priced him above Wyndham Clark. Maybe not based on recent play and like win equity, but floor and consistency and maybe even upside at Augusta specifically, because it is a place that requires so much experience. I think Xander should probably be priced higher than Wyndham Clark. He feels very safe when people pick his name. So I think Xander is going to be extremely popular overall. I think Decky is probably the next one. Continues to play really well. He's playing really well at Valero right now, currently tied for 4th. Not going to win because he's 8 shots behind Akshay, but Hideki is playing great golf right now. T5 or T4 currently 6th at the Players. Decky's just been lights out. 9K feels super cheap for him. And both of those guys make a lot of sense in a cash lineup for sure, if you're doing 50-50s or double ups. Who's the next most popular player in this range in GPPs and tournaments?
Oh, this is tough. I think for me, and I think you're right, I think Xander and Hideki are going to be the 2 highest, which is interesting because they're the very top and the bottom of this range. I think it's going to be Neiman. Is what I think, because I obviously he's had a great season this year on Live with 2 wins. I think guys like Ludd have questions because it's his first year. Willie Z with different things. Jordan hasn't been in great form. Cantlay hasn't been in good form. Victor hasn't been in good form. So I don't see how Neiman wouldn't be the next one.
I mean, I can see a reason why he would. I mean, I think between Neiman, Willie Z, and even Ludwig, I think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be close. I think people don't want it to be Neiman. I think you don't want it to be Neiman. You want a lower owned Neiman.
Oh, I would love a lower
because
owned
you've been so high on Neiman forever. But I think he's going to be higher owned than you think he is.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't want to play a chalky Neiman, actually. I'm out on chalky Neiman.
Isn't it crazy that Victor and Cantlay are going to be quite possibly the lowest owned people in the 9K and above range?
I think they probably are.
And your boy Jordan, if he has another good 4th round in at Valero, now he's pissed off some people at the end of his 3rd round with some skeezy play on 18, but I mean, he's just Jordan at Augusta, and he's showing flashes. And like I said, number 2 DraftKings point scorer at Augusta last year. He's always going to get attention at Augusta, especially in a big public contest like a Millie Maker or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get extra love. Ludwig, that may be something to think about with Ludwig. Like if you're playing in a super public contest like the Millie, Ludwig may be lower. He is going to be lower owned than like a 3 max or a single entry or some higher dollar contest. So kind of knowing and understanding the contest and the people getting in is obviously important. I don't know what to do with the rest of these guys. I mean, I'm pretty confident I'm not playing Cantlay under most circumstances. I mean, if you gave me Cantlay at like, I don't know, like 10%, that would be entitled. Like Cantlay and Hovland at 10% are interesting. Do you think they get lower than that or at 10 or lower?
I think Hovland's going to. I think Cantlay will not, but I think Hovland's going to get less
than 10%.
Yeah, I really think Hovland's going to be at like 8.
No.
8 to 9.
No. There's no way.
Do you want to bet
at 9,500? No way. He's still too much of a name. 8%, dude. At 8%,
maybe 9.
I'm the hell
Give
out
me
of
8 to 9, and I would take it in that range.
Like Hovland and Cantlay at 8, which you're not going to get. Like 8 to 10 to 12%. At those numbers, if I have a player pool of 20 guys or 25 guys, at that point I'm starting to look at rostering them at like maybe not quite double the ownership, but like if they're at 10, maybe 15%, something like that. I want a little bit more exposure than everybody else, but I don't want to go crazy because I could see them continuing to not play well.
Okay. I think we need to talk about 2 people in here that we haven't talked about.
Okay.
Well, we've brought up, but the 2 most polarizing players here are right next to Hideki, and that's Willie Z and Ludwig.
Okay.
I think Willie Z to me scares me the most because of what he could like. He's obviously been extremely well. He's done well here. Finished second his first time ever. But the results recently have been a little bit mixed.
Yeah.
I could still see me wanting to play Willie Z, and I don't know if he'll be that chalky. Ludwig, though, is the other one that I'm like, I think he could win this golf tournament as, a first timer. I just think he has that much talent to do this.
I think he does. I would not count on it at 9,100. Obviously, you don't have to have him win the golf tournament. I mean, he's like the 12th highest priced golfer. So I mean, he doesn't have to win. I would rather have Ludwig. And I do think both are going to be similar in ownership. I think they're going to be close. Like I said, I think Ludwig might get a little less ownership in a very public Millie Maker, but I think they're going to be close. So I think if you want to play just one, I think the ownership will be tight enough that you can play which one you want. I'd rather have Lud. I trust Lud more at this point. Ludwig has nothing bad in his game. Nothing.
He really doesn't.
Even when he has a bad week with putting or chipping, like it's okay. It's not great. Like Willie Z, we talked about it ad nauseum on the betting show. I'm not going to get into it more here, but just his putter at Augusta is, I think, is still too small of a sample size and too long ago because things change quickly in golf.
Mm-hmm.
It's too long ago. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened between then. I don't know, like him looking like a blind person putting like almost every tournament. All that has happened. All that's real. So to me, I think that the 8 rounds that he's putted well at Augusta could be a mirage. And he's not putting well right now. And I mean, he's not hitting it. He's hitting it good. He's hitting it good. He's not like dominant tee to green like he kind of was in 21, 22. And obviously he's coming back from injury. It is what it is. But I'm way more afraid of the floor for Willie Z than I am Ludwig.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think it's just an interesting discussion between the two, because obviously, Willie Z had a lot of success coming out of when he turned pro, and so is Lud. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. I cannot wait to see what Ludwig does this week. I just think he's got all the tools. I worry a little bit about just like the creativity. I talked about this before. That he's kind of reminds me of Ivan Drago in Rocky. He's just sort of like he doesn't really have a ton of creativity. Doesn't but he's just a robot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. It's a big stage for the kid. I don't, we talked about him on the betting show about winning outright. It's a big stage, but DFS is a different game. It'll be interesting to see where he shakes in out, because I mean Decky's going to get a lot of love down there at 9K. So, all right, that's kind of the top end of that range. Don't forget to check out our friends at Swanee's. Code TJ25 gets you 25% off your entire order. Good people, based in the U.S., ship anywhere to U.S. and Canada. Great quality golf apparel for men, women, and juniors. TJ25, 25% off your entire order, even the new stuff. So check that out. All right, 8K range, Pat. We've got Cam Smith to Shane Lowry. Cam Smith withdraws from this week's live event. Word on the street is he had a little bit of a food poisoning, stomach bug situation early in the week. He gutted it out on round 1, then withdrew prior to round 2. I don't think it's a big deal. I actually think what's probably, I don't know, like he's not playing bad, I guess. He finished T8 in Mayakoba, T2 in Hong Kong. The other events in Vegas and Jeddah, okay. So he's doing okay. I don't know that I love Cam Smith this week. If I've got to pick a live player in this range, it is for sure Dustin Johnson. Love DJ at 8,800. But I think DJ is going to be the first chalky name here in the 8K range. I think there's 3 chalky names in the 8K range. I think it's DJ. I think it's Cam Young. And I think it's actually Shane Lowry at 8K even. Any disagreements there? Would you add anyone to that list? You think those are the top 3?
No disagreement whatsoever. I think DJ. I think Cam Young for sure, and I think Shane Lowry. A lot of people are going to love Shane Lowry this week, and they should. I mean, the guy's been playing fantastic golf. Really, probably should have won a tournament already this year, and plays well at the Masters. I mean, like if you're playing Shane, you're kind of you feel so comfortable inside. He's got that.
He's a very big warm teddy bear, even from a DFS play perspective. Like,
yeah, he's a little teddy bear. You just hug him.
Yeah.
You hug your little teddy bear and you set your lineup and you're like, oh, this is my teddy bear.
Yeah, he's not missing the cut. He's going to top 20.
He's
Easy.
comfortable.
Worst
He's top 25 the last 4 times he's played here.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think Shane, I think Cam Young, who I absolutely love, and I'll eat the chalk. I don't care. And DJ. Now, I do think Tony Finau is going to get a little bit of chalk.
A little bit. It ain't gonna be more than Cam Young.
No, it's not. But I think there's going to be a few people that look at his history here. They look at the good finish in Houston with the T2. I think he gets a little bit of chalk, but he's probably 4th in this group.
So is the 8K range the range where we're gonna have legitimate, low-owned, very high upside pivot options? Because in the 9K and 10K and above range, like, we're not going to really have any true pivots. Maybe Hovland and Cantlay, okay? You're going to have to pay up for them. And they got warts. But, I mean, okay, if it's DJ, Cam Young, Lowry, a little sprinkle of Finau. I mean, that leaves Cam Smith, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa, Bryson DeChambeau, and Sam Burns as possibly low-owned, kind of left out. I mean, they're all going to get some attention. For sure, they're going to get some attention. They're going to get some looks. But lower than a lot of people from 8K and above, those names. Those are some heavy hitters to be left as pivots. So out of that bunch, what do you make of those few guys, and who would you consider pivoting to quickly to have some leverage?
Well, I absolutely believe that this is definitely a good pivot range based off of where the ownership is looking. I think for me, Cam Smith actually is the first one that comes to mind, despite him withdrawing this week. I think Cam is obviously, before he went to live, one of the best golfers in the world. Still is, obviously. I mean, he's played well here. I think this was probably, if I were to think about like the first major he would have won, it would have been here, but he won the Open Championship. But I do think Cam Smith is very much in play for me. The other one I would say, like, I just DB. I want to play Bryson.
Oh no,
I do.
dude. I mean, we're going to talk about Bryson.
He's gonna figure this golf course out eventually.
Is he?
He is.
Like, okay, but here's my problem with him.
I don't want to hear about. He said it was a par 67.
I know.
I don't care about that.
Augusta National is not a math problem. It's not a math problem, and there's something about it that confounds his brain.
It does, because he's so confused by the fact that it could actually just be a golf course that you have to play with feel and natural ability and
artistry. I don't
artistry.
know. Like his short game around this place has been terrible. I mean, it's not like he hasn't gone to Augusta and gained a ton of strokes off the tee. He has. He's had years. I mean, 2023 gained 2.5 strokes in 2 rounds. Missed the cut. 2021 gained 4.3 strokes. Made the cut T46. 2020. I mean, that was his year. That should have been the year he should have freaking dominated. He gained 6.5 strokes off the tee. 6.5. Finished 34th because he still lost 3 shots on approach. Lost 2.5 shots short game. Like, I think Bryson is going to have a good year in majors. I don't think it's going to happen here. And he's playing fine in Doral right now. Like, he's playing well.
Isn't it weird, though, that you're saying here? Like, this would have been, to me,
it's a great spot.
Augusta would be one of the best spots he could ever win at. What if Michelangelo visits him in a dream the night before he's about to start, and then all of a sudden,
what did he have nothing to do with Augusta? You know what I think?
He's an artist, though. Like, he was a sculptor. He was he could do it. He was a multifaceted artist.
Why not Alistair McKenzie visit him in a dream? He needs
Alistair wouldn't do that. Alistair doesn't like Bryson.
He's the last one out for me in this group too. Like, I'm not interested, dude. I'm gonna listen. It's Saturday night. By Wednesday, I'm gonna help. Friends don't let friends do that here. I'm gonna have you out on Bryson by Wednesday night. I'm gonna save you from that one. I am. I'm gonna save you from it.
Okay, it's Saturday now, and I would like to have Bryson in the lineup. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Well,
you can talk me out of it, but I'm gonna. He's in the pool. I'll put it that way. He's not in the lineup.
Okay.
But he's sitting there on the bench, ready to jump in.
Okay. DJ, Lowry, Cam Young for me. I love all 3 though. Very popular. So probably won't play all of them. All 3 of them. Probably going to pivot. And the 2 pivots I like in this range are Justin Thomas and Max Homa. Now, JT just split ways with Bones, which is crazy, right? The timing of this is crazy. It's crazy town.
Is it, though?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes you get a little bit of a change and you just feel like, hey, you know what? You take some of the pressure off because, like, everybody's like, all right, there's no way JT's going to play well this week. He doesn't have bones on the bag. All this kind of stuff is screwed up in his game. And in my mind, it like frees him up a little, actually, to think, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and enjoy the minister that's on my bag and I'm just gonna, he's gonna preach to me while I'm out there.
Mhm.
By the way, it is Matt Minister or Mike
Yes.
Minister. It's
Matt.
whatever
His
that's on
caddy.
his bag. He's not a preacher, but either way, I mean, who knows? It's a very experienced caddy.
Mhm.
So I think it's actually it's not a bad thing. I don't really care all that much. I don't mind the JT pivot actually.
I
Now
mean,
he's somebody you could talk me into.
his iron play has still been awesome. He's not doing anything on the greens. Maybe the on the greens situation is why it makes sense. Like I can't imagine Bones being bad on the greens or bad for someone on the greens, but maybe he needs to change up for that reason. I don't know. He's gained strokes at Augusta at times. He's lost strokes at putting at Augusta at times. He's always done well around the green, which is something JT's always had an underrated, very good short game, in my opinion. But I like the way he's hitting it. At 8,700, it feels like real value for JT. So I am interested to see where he comes in if he is a little less chalk than normal. Now, I do want to share my screen real quick and show you my next guy. It's Mr. Maximus Homa. Because I am a noted Max Homa homer.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'll admit it. But I mean, listen, we're getting Max at 8,300, Pat. This is Max Homa average price in a major. Now, if I go here to bet the number and I click on majors only, it ain't great. Okay. It's not great. Best finish at a major was the last major he played, the Open Championship 2023 T10. He's got a T13 at the PGA in 2022. That's the best he's done. But this guy, over the last 2 to 3 years, has been one of the best golfers in the world. Like in any field, on any type of golf course, one of the best in the world. He definitely feels like he's slumping at the moment. Feels like a little bit of a slump, but it's not a big one. And there's still plenty of signs of life. I mean, just look at the 2024. I mean, the Century, whatever. He hit it great. He just didn't putt well. 13th at Torrey Pines, 16th at Riv, 8th at API. 3 tough golf courses, strong fields, 2 of those elevated. Did just fine. Figured it out. Wasn't super flashy in terms of the ball striking or anything, but figured it out. Like top 20s, top 15s, top 20s. T10 at API. The Players was a big letdown, but I mean, he sprayed it all over the place. Like it's not a great golf course if you can't hit it up a gnat's ass off the tee. So I'm just saying, this seems like Max's floor right now. As it stands today, this seems like Max's floor. And a T18 or a T16 at 8,300 with the potential that we get figure it out peak Max, who I truly believe could contend here and win. I mean, don't forget when Max was popping for 2.5 years, solid off the tee, plenty of distance off the tee, great iron player, great around the green, really good around the green. A recipe for success at Augusta. His last 24 rounds, ball speed, he definitely hits it plenty far. This has been a problem. Accuracy's been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Approach from the fairway, a little hit or miss. Long irons, mid irons are pretty good. Wedges haven't been great, but you're going to hit a lot of mid irons, long irons at Augusta. Around the green from the short grass, guy kills it. Great around the greens. And he's a better than average putter. So I think Max is one I have my eye on. I think not a lot of people are going to play him. I think he's going to be a nice pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he certainly could be a good pivot. I will not play him though. None of what you just said convinced me at all, but it was very good screenshotting.
Oh, man. All right. Is that enough for the 8K? We had enough?
Yeah, I think so.
The 8K is going to be that's freaking that is pivot place right there. That is where
absolutely. That's where
there's going to be. I mean, 7K's got some great names too, but the 8K is where I think some money's going to be made.
And you take some risks there. You really need to in order to to win.
speaking of winning, our friends at SoBet had a huge day yesterday. Okay. I'm going to specifically tell people what happened yesterday because if you're not on SoBet, listen to what happened yesterday. And this is crazy. Our friend Parlay Kalu, Pick'em Petey, Lloyd Locks, and Gutsy. We know all four of those guys, all great handicappers. All four of those guys had clean sweeps yesterday on their picks on SoBet between baseball, basketball. I think there's some sort of fighting MMA or
Wait,
something.
clean sweeps as in how many bet? Like one bet a piece?
At least they all had at least 3 bets. Gutsy had like 5. One of these dudes had like 6. I think Pick'em Petey or Parlay Kalu had 6. It's like 15 bets between the 4 of them, all clean swept yesterday. And then our boy Dusty Picks went 9-2 and won people 9 units on SoBet just yesterday. They have over 50 handicappers that have all been vetted by the SoBet team. All these guys and girls are good at what they do. They require transparency. You have to say, here are the units I'm betting. Here's why I'm making these bets. And then win or lose, you got to recap and say what happened, right? So it's full transparency. It cuts out all the crap. It's the best platform for those of you who are betting on any sport and every sport. It's all right there on SoBet. Like I said, 50-plus handicappers. We put exclusive golf bets up there every single week. A lot of our finish position bets are up there. I have been pretty hot up there lately, to be honest with you. A lot of my live bets go up on SoBet. We put a PGA Tour bets up there every single week. So get involved. If you click the link in the description, you get it for $1 for the first month. $1 for the first month. Code TJ gets you that. So click the link, TJ in the box, and $1 for the first month. You can cancel at any time. It's $9.95 a month after. SoBet is where it's at. Again, if you like the Tour Junkies, if you want to support us, support those who support us, like SoBet, who's been with us for over a year now. Do it, okay? Because they're good at what they do. And if you join and you follow us, you're automatically entered to win that free year on Bet the Number. All right, 7K range. Pat, let's get to it.
All right.
Matty Fitz, all the way down to Harris English and Nick Taylor. I see where, actually, let's double check and see this. You know, Ben On got added to the field.
You know what? I did notice that, which I love to see it.
I'm guessing he'll be in the 6K range. And then if Akshay goes on to win, I would imagine Akshay will also be in the 6K range. But let me just double check to make sure they've not been already added. And I'm missing it so that we can make sure we got our bases covered. Byung Hanan is not. Okay, so we don't know where those guys are going to be. I'm thinking they'll throw them in the 6K range, which will be.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, so 7K range, chalk. I don't know. I kind of think, I think this one's going to feel pretty evened out for the most part. I think Sahith at 77 is going to be
100%.
popular. I think Connors at 75 is going to be popular. Not sure from there. I mean, there's going to be some folks that get some love, but I don't know that anyone else really separates themselves.
You don't see Fitzpatrick having any chalk?
I can see Fitzpatrick, yes, maybe being the next man. I just don't think he gets above Sahith or Connors, and I don't know that he, like, if you don't get above Sahith and Connors, I think you're going to be right there within the same range as a guy like maybe a little higher than Jason Day. If Tommy Ladd goes low on Sunday, people love playing him. If Reed continues to play really well on Live this week, maybe Reed gets a little love. Adam Scott down at the bottom. Like, I just don't think he's going to, like, really pull away. But I could be wrong. I like Fitz.
Yeah, I think Fitz is a good play this week. I just think he could be a little bit chalky. But I agree. I think the biggest one right off the bat is Sahith. I think he's certainly going to have some chalk. And I think Corey Connors is.
Can you play a chalky Sahith, his second Masters? Like, should that happen?
I think you can. Look,
that's starting to feel like a textbook fade to me.
I don't know.
Like, and I like Sahith. We talked about him outright.
That's overthinking it.
Maybe
you can't go into this tournament also, or any really in my mind, just automatically throwing a guy out because of where you think the ownership is going to be.
Well, I'm not going to automatically do. I'm going to look at the ownership, which, by the way, if people don't know, every week we have cumulative ownership from 5 different websites that project ownership. We Add it all up, average it all up, put it out in the Discord on Tuesday for the first run, and then again on Wednesday evening, right before the Wednesday night live chat. So if you're looking for a trusted source and you're like, God, all these websites project people at different spots, we just aggregate them all, give them to you. It's super easy to look at. Spreadsheet format with their tee times and their change from Tuesday to Wednesday and how the steam is moving on. It's a fantastic thing that our boy Spaz does there in the Discord. Shout out to Spaz. That's also another reason to be in the Discord. So we'll check that. We'll be checking Sahith's ownership on Wednesday. Are you frozen?
No, I'm good. Okay. Did you ask me something?
Nope.
You just wanted me to say something.
Yeah, I just figured I interrupted you to talk about the ownership. So I thought you would continue your Sahith rant.
Oh, I forgot what that was. I forgot.
Choked on my tequila. Gosh dang it, Pat.
This tells me we should play Sahith.
Why?
All of this stuff, like what's happening right now, like the
choking?
Choking and things like that. I think it's just you got to play Sahith. So that then obviously brings us to where we want to go here, other than some of the chalk. And I can tell you one of my favorite plays in here, DB.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Henley.
I don't hate it.
I want to let that sink in a little bit.
Why is he good here?
Because he's a Georgia boy.
Why?
I mean, he's a Georgia boy. He's a great ball striker. We know ball strikers can win here. He's a good putter.
Is he? I mean, is he? Is Russell Henley a good putter?
I have him 8th in the field.
Dude, I'm getting hammered. I literally just typed in the player box on Bet the Number. I typed in the word putter.
He gained 7 strokes putting at the Honda. Okay, he gained 5.6 at the API where he finished.
Dude, he is the most average putter on the PGA Tour. I looked at the last 100 rounds. I mean, I think you got to take a big sample size with putting.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the
last 100 rounds. He's dead. He's basically dead even strokes gained putting. He's dead even in birdie conversion putting. He's actually a little better in 3-putt avoidance from greater than 25. I mean, he's so average putting. He does have some spike weeks, but he also has some garbage weeks. I just can't figure out why he plays this place so well, because he's not long off the tee. I guess his irons are okay, but I mean, he does play his place unbelievable.
Yeah,
and course history.
Don't worry about it. Just with the stats
is an indicator of.
And his form is good.
His form is good. Yeah, I will gladly fade Russell Henley if he's popular. I really will.
I'm not saying he's popular. I'm saying I think he's going to be a good player.
Well, he probably will be. I mean, 7,200. He's finished 4th right now in Texas. 4th here last year with all that great course history. It's $7,200. He probably will be popular.
What about Fleetwood?
Oh, Fleetwood. Fleetwood. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. I chased that so much last year. I chased it for so long. And then, actually, let's do this. Let's go see what he's doing. Let's see what he's doing. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to the live tournament stats page. I'll bet the number for Valero. All right. So if you go to the tournament page after the ball's in the air on Thursday, you get live strokes gained and all this data updating live. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can go to raw values or rankings. I'm gonna go to raw values. Let's do Fleetwood. Tommy Ladd. For all 3 rounds, because we're only on Saturday night. He's only played 3 rounds. Gaining strokes off the tee to almost 1.6, crushing it on a pro. It looks like classic Tommy Ladd.
Yep.
Losing 2 strokes putting, not making a ton of birdies, not making a ton of bogeys. hitting some good fairways, hitting some good greens and rag, average ball speed. Like this is classic Fleetwood, right? Last year. This is Fleetwood last year right here. For, first in the field in bogey avoidance, third in approach, second tee to green, 74th in putting, 8th in green and rag. I mean, that is classic Fleetwood. But he hasn't done it all year. And now he's just decides to do it, and we're all in now.
What did you say?
I kind of
Did you have-
remember back in the day where we used to have remember when you used to have a CD player in your pocket, like a Discman?
Yeah, a
And you
Walkman.
had not a walk, because wasn't a Walkman a cassette player? But you had a Discman.
No, they had the Sony Walkman that had the disc too,
Okay.
and it would skip.
I had like a Panasonic Discman or something. But then, yeah, that thing would skip when you'd walk around a little bit. You might hit a step or a bump or a pothole.
Yeah, and it just went.
And it'd skip on it. But then they came out with skip control or whatever. Remember that? Like a skip protector, like a condom for skipping on your CDs or whatever. You flip the little switch and you'd be like, oh, I might could stub my toe and trip a little bit and not miss anything from
I might be able to pelvic thrust a little bit during during some things and still not skip a beat.
This actually just came. So in other words, I had a skip right there. Something happened. I don't know. My skip protection went out. I actually just had this conversation with my 13-year-old the other day. He went on his 8th grade trip, and my 8th grade trip. Did you go on an 8th grade trip? Where'd you go? Like Saudi Arabia because y'all were rich or whatever? You went somewhere real fancy.
Saudi Arabia.
You flew somewhere. You went and kissed the ring and saw the prince or something. And
dude, I bet my 8th grade school was worse than your 8th grade
Where'd
school.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Middle school, you're right. Where'd you go? Did you go 8th grade trip?
Do you think Langford Middle School went to an 8th grade trip?
Go?
No, we didn't have an 8th grade trip. Our 8th grade trip was to the water treatment plant.
What? Like where half the guys' dads worked or whatever? Everybody went to go see their dad?
I just made that up, but I'm just saying like that's how like we didn't have an 8th grade trip.
Oh, okay. We went to Washington D.C. and so I was reminiscing because Mike Collins, he's just like he's my mini me. He's getting ready for his 8th grade trip, and I'm just like flashing back, and I'm like, God, I remember my 8th grade trip. You know how I have a terrible memory, but dude, it's just funny how things you remember. I remember my 8th grade trip to so much detail. I remember this jacket that my mom bought me from Burlington Coat Factory, and it had this big ass pocket, 2 pockets right here in the front. And one of them pockets was big enough to put a Discman in there and maybe even hide like a king size Snickers or something. And I had a Discman in there. And brother, there was a CD that came out right before my 8th grade trip. And I bought it without mom and dad knowing. And I swear to you, I had that CD in that Discman. It's the only CD I took. We were there for 4 days. I had that Discman, that same CD in that Discman in my ear, from the moment we pulled out the parking lot of the school, all through every museum, everything we went to in DC, all the way home. I'd memorized the whole thing by the time we got home. You know how good I am with lyrics.
Yeah,
I'm good with lyrics, aren't I?
Oh yeah, you are. No, yeah.
The album was Harlem World by Mace.
Oh,
bruh. Why you over there looking at me while my girl standing there? Why you over there looking at me while my girl standing there? I mean, I had the whole thing memorized, cooking in the bus seat as an 8th grader in my Burlington coat with my Discman on skip protection. And it just took me back, man. It took me back.
I thought you were going to go like you had Boys to Men.
Oh, no.
Although we go to the end of the road.
Although we what?
I don't know.
Although we golf? It's not like you said although we golf to the end of the road.
Although we golf.
What did you say?
I think I said go.
No. Although we've come to the end of the road.
Whatever. Either way.
Dude, listen, I was a huge Boys and Men fan at that point, but when the new CD came out, it was Harlem World 24/7. Anyway, sorry for my skip there. What are we on? Or what are we talking about? 7K range?
Yeah, we were in the 7K range.
Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, okay, here's some pivots I like. Let me talk about my pivots. Hatton's playing good right now at Live, but I think he's broken here. Tom
He's
Kim is
been better than, like there was a thing with Hatton where he was just never going to play well here, but
yeah.
the last few years have actually been okay.
Tom Kim is broken. I'm not doing that. I love P. Reed, but I think P. Reed's going to get some action. This is last year.
We were talking about Fleetwood.
I know, yeah.
And Fleetwood to me is, I'm coming around on Fleetwood. I still like Sung Jae a little bit, but you don't like him.
No, I like more guys. I like just as many guys in the 6K, honestly.
Isn't it weird we're not even talking at all about Minwoo Lee?
Because
Minwoo Lee is not he's not cooking.
This is not a Minwoo Lee dick sucking podcast, dude. And every other podcast out there, that's what they do. We've never been that. I love Minwoo Lee. He's cool, man. He is cool. And
I like Minwoo a lot.
A lot of you that play DFS are not cool. And you want to be cool. And you want cool friends. And you want a guy with skinny mustache and Lululemon that hits at 394 million and has a cool catchphrase and it has a cool accent. I get it. But he is not as good as you think he is. He's not. We've been saying it for forever. Yes, he hits it far. Okay. So many people hit it far. That's all he does. That's all he does.
He can hit it far with the 2-iron, which I think.
You want to say let him cook. If he's cooking on the golf course, he can cook one thing, a driver. It's like me in college. Oh, yeah, girl. Come on, man. I come to my condo. I cook for you, girl.
I can make a hot dog.
I can make a spaghetti. That's all I got. It's a good spaghetti. I'm going to season the hell out of the thing. It's good. I do it right. Proper meat to sauce ratio. It's going to be good. But then if you want to come over the next night, you want me to cook for you again, guess what I'm going to do? Cook spaghetti. I had one thing. So does Minwoo Lee.
Yeah.
So just shut up. He is now finally appropriately priced. Sure. But until he learns how to hit the other, I mean, he can putt a little bit. Until he learns how to hit the other 12 clubs in his bag, he ain't doing anything at Augusta. Now, he did finish T14 in 2022. That's pretty good. I mean, okay. Yeah, he could top 20. But it's more likely that he freaking misses the cut. I'm not buying Minwoo Lee. I'm tired of hearing about it, honestly. So no, I don't think it's crazy that we haven't talked about him.
I brought him up because I wanted to hear what you had to say about him.
No, you know what's crazier is we haven't talked about somebody who's in better form than Minwoo Lee and is a better all-around golfer than Minwoo Lee and who has played better at Augusta National than Minwoo Lee. His name is Siwoo freaking Kim. That's what's crazy. Why haven't I talked about him? He's
on your shirt.
He's $200 cheaper. He's $200 cheaper. He's played Augusta freaking 7 times, never missed a cut. I mean, sorry, he's missed one cut, his first one. Other than that, the worst finish was a 34th in 2020. What has he done lately? He's been pretty freaking good. He's been really good. Now he's got a baby. Remember that Tupac song, Brenda's Got a Baby? You remember that song? Wasn't that Tupac?
I don't.
Yeah.
Who do you think you're talking to? Do you know me? We've done this for so
Yeah. Brenda's Got a Baby. This is it. I got it right here. Brenda's Got a Baby. I hear Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a brain. Damn shame the girl can hardly spell her name. All this good. Brenda's got a baby. Siwoo's got a baby. That's a big deal. It's as big a deal as Brenda having a baby in 1991, because as much as Brenda probably needed a little perspective, I guarantee you Siwoo needs more. And I think Siwoo having a baby, fatherhood is going to do a lot of good for Siwoo. And it's going to level him out. It's going to mellow him out. It's going to be a good thing for him. The irons are dialed. The short game is solid. I think we should be talking about Siwoo. I love Siwoo here at the $7,100 price tag.
Same.
I'm sorry if I kind of took over there for a few minutes. I'm sorry. I got really fired up when you said Minwoo. We should have been talking about Minwoo.
No, I didn't say we should have. I said we haven't been. And it's interesting because last year everybody wanted to talk about Minwoo because he played here his first year. He did well. He finished like top 20. So people were kind of like, "Oh, wait a second, Minwoo,
Mm-hmm.
something's happening here."
Yeah, he's cooked.
Why did I? What?
I also think for a first timer, I think Jaeger could be a little fun.
I agree, but I also feel like for him, it's like, yes, he's a first timer, but he's so experienced on
Yeah.
tour and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like it could be. It could definitely work for him here, despite the fact that he doesn't have the experience.
How much chalk is too much on Sahith?
If I saw Sahith around like 17 or 18%, I think I would be out.
I could see a lot of people going like Scotty Sahith, Scotty Connors. I think that's a popular start.
I think it is.
I think Sahith's going to be pretty up there.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk ourselves through some of the chalk stuff. All right, let's anybody else in the 7K? Any other pivots you like in the 7K?
No, I think that's it.
Honestly, I do like the 6K just as much, if not more.
Yeah.
All right, don't forget our friends at Underdog have the best ball draft for the majors going on right now. You can get in the $10 albatross. They're paying $500,000 out, and there is overlay right now, people. Get in there. $10 per entry. Draft a team for the majors in 2024. You draft it, and then you're done. You don't have to manage. You don't have to do anything. You're going to draft 10 guys. You're going to pick the best 6 every major. You're done. Bing, bang, bong. You're done. $500,000, $50,000 of first, the albatross. Get in there. Click the link in the description. Takes you right there. If you haven't signed up already, got a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you click that link and sign up for Underdog. So, and also we'll be doing our more or less plays, our daily pick'em plays every day this week in the Discord for Underdog. All right, 6K draft, and then we'll get out of here, Pat. Who's picking first? Oh no, we got one more thing to do after this. We're gonna each give our cash lineup after this. You want to start?
Sure, I'll start.
Okay.
I mean, look, great range. It always is. In the Masters when you have a 6K range.
It does. Well, it feels like there's less geriatrics in here this year.
It does.
Which I like. I'm happy about that. A greater percentage. You know what? I do miss Larry Mize, though. I miss Larry Mize.
Yeah.
It feels like less geriatrics, and that's
well, they're kind of pushing them out a little bit earlier these days, I think, and so that's helping a little bit.
Yep.
But listen, when you get into the 6K range, DB, you have to look at a lot of different things. You want to look at form. Yeah. You may get a little bit of history from some of these guys out here. But you really got to get into the stats a little bit. You got to use BTN. And sometimes I'm just going to tell you, you gotta use some different stats that you may have never seen before. DB.
Oh, that ain't even me right now. Is that the Holy Spirit taking over? What is that?
Yeah, the Holy Spirit is taking over, and I'm going to share my screen a little bit with you, DB, and I'm going to choose the first guy here in the 6K range.
Sharing the screen.
Now, first off, what I want you to notice is I have created my own model, okay? And it's called Master P 2024, all right?
Told you I'm a no-limit soldier. I thought I told you I'm a no-limit soldier. Okay.
Little Master P.
A lot of 90s hip hop going on right now.
Yeah, there is. And so you may see a few favorites in here.
God.
Yeah, but look, there's some pretty standard stats, and I do think you kind of keep it simple this week off the tee approach around the green. But then we start to get a little bit crazy, DB. Now, the BTN model has apex height. But does the BTN model have hang time?
Oh, snap, huh?
I got hang time in here, DB.
Hang time?
Right next to par 5 scoring. And right off the bat at 6,900, my boy Machu is
Oh,
fourth.
dear.
Is fourth in hang time, DB. Now, I like Machu. He hasn't been great lately, the last few weeks, but this is a guy who's played very well this year. And I'm going to play Machu at 6,900 with that hang time stat. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, a little sneak peek at Pat's model. And look at him doing the screen share. God, we've come a long way, folks. Man, how far we've come.
yeah,
Good for you, Pat. I'm proud of you for that. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my favorite guy in this range. Talked about him on the betting show, but dude, this guy's, I'm not gonna share my screen, but in my model, he is 15th in my model. And that's really he's missed 3 out of his last 5 tournaments. He's missed a cut. But talk about apex, he hits it high, buddy. Talk about irons, 175, 240 yards, strokes gained. Last 50 rounds, he's 4th in the field. Scrambling pretty good, hits it plenty far. Keegan Bradley at 6,700 is the play for me.
he is 6th in hang time, by the way.
6th in hang time, Keegan Bradley. Gosh dang it. I like it. I'm going Keegs. I think Keegan has real upside here.
Yeah, I agree. Next for me is right up there at the top 2, right underneath Machu, Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk is just so solid, man. Like T23 last year, we have not seen him since the Players where he did have a T26. He's just a solid player all across the board. You look off the tee, his approach game, putting is certainly suspect at times. He's up there in apex height and hang time, top 30 in the field there.
I think you seriously every time you say that.
I think Chris Kirk at 6,900 is another really good play.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys in here I like, man. We're gonna have to work this out in the Discord because, also I believe Akshay is going to be added to this range. Akshay's going to win this week.
I'll probably really look towards him too.
You got a lefty. He's probably going to be in here. Ben On as well, who's not added to the field yet. He's probably going to be in here too. In here, I'm looking for guys who I think could top 5 or they're going to top 5 or miss a cut. And to me, like a guy like Chris Kirk, I like Chris Kirk. I don't see Chris Kirk top 5 or miss. I think Chris Kirk's a high floor guy. I still want some upside here in the 6K. When you got 89 players in the Masters, it's more than just making the cut because a lot of 6-6 going to get through. So I still want upside here. And there are guys that could still give you upside here. And I'm having a hard time actually narrowing it down. Even Sergio, who could win Trump Doral with his newly renovated 1999 Scotty Cameron that he just got fixed. And he's actually rolling the rock pretty good this week. Like, there's so many good options here in the 6K that I'm having to narrow it down. God, I think I'm just going to stick with my guns here. I talked about him on the betting show. I'm just going to stick with Taylor Moore. The guy's just playing really good. 6,400, 39th in his first Masters last year. Could have won the Houston last week. 12th at the Valspar. PGA Tour winner. Hits it far enough. Irons are solid. Around the green plays fantastic. Putting is pretty average. But I like Taylor Moore a lot. I think Taylor Moore has not just a high upside, because I think he really does. I think he could genuinely top 5 here. But I also think he's actually got one of the higher floors of anyone in the field. Anyone in the 6K range. Sorry, not anyone in the field.
Okay. I like that play. Listen, DB, why do we not like Lucas Glover? When he played last year and won 2 times in a row, he's 11th this week right now. He was 11th at the Valspar. Last time he played here was 2022. He finished T30. He checks a lot of boxes. He's in the top 25 in my model, in the Master P model, DB.
He's 59th in mine. So our models are different.
Well, yours is broken.
Okay.
So Lucas,
I don't hate it. I
actually like him at 6,300. Lucas Glover, I'll take it.
I'm about to break the 6K draft. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I actually touted this guy in the only major he's ever contended in, he's ever played in, the only major he's ever played in, I touted him as the low amateur that week. He was the first round leader at the Open Championship. He is 6'8", 220 pounds of South African pure effing greatness. And I'm talking about Christo Lamprecht. It's $6,100. Now,
Oh, wow. Okay.
he is an amateur. Okay. But he is not just an amateur. He is the number one amateur over Gordon Sargent. Again, already played in a major, made the cut, did finish 74th, basically DFL at the Open, but made the cut, got through his first major, first round lead. I mean, good Lord, first round lead at the Open Championship. Hits it a ton. He's a Georgia Tech boy. Pat, what do we know about the Augusta National? We know. What do we know about the Augusta National? What's something we know that would relate to this?
It's in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Georgia. Okay. As a former caddy, I will tell you this. There are a few colleges where there are a lot of members from said colleges.
University
of Georgia, Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Clemson. There are a lot of members from those colleges, and those members
Lucas Glover went to Clemson.
Yep. Those colleges, he's also 100 years old.
I know. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Went to Clemson like 40 years ago.
I'm just making a connection here, DB, when you're bringing up all these connections.
I assure you that Christo Lamprecht has had some laps around Augusta, and he's got multiple Georgia Tech members hosting him leading up to this week, setting him up with other Georgia Tech players, making sure that he is teed up for success at Augusta. Listen, I'm not saying I am being a little cute here. Okay. It's the end of a hour and 22-minute Masters podcast at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I've had tequila. And it's just a meaningless 6K draft, really. So there are better options here. But I'm just saying Christo Lamprecht is going to be your low amateur, and he is an amateur. I don't believe he has top 5 upside, but I do think he has top 25 upside. I really do.
Okay.
So I'm going $6,100 Christo Lamprecht. Your 6K draft lineup is Keegan Bradley, Matthew Pavon, Chris Kirk, Taylor Moore, Lamprecht, Lucas Glover. Boom. Finally, cash lineup, Pat. We don't normally do this, but a lot of people will play 50-50s and double ups in DFS this week. We don't do a lot of that, but if we did, we're going to give you our 50-50 double up lineup. Just trying to get 6 guys to make the cut and have a little bit of upside because you're going to have a higher 6-6 in cash lineups too, obviously. Ownership kind of gets thrown out the window a little bit. Pat, what is your 6K lineup? We're going to put them up against each other. We could have some of the same players. That's perfectly fine. We could have some of the same players. But what is your 50-50 lineup?
All right. Well, you'll be able to tell that I did. I went a little more balanced with this lineup, and I went with some definite course history, but also great recent form as well as far as cut makers. So I'll start with Corey Connors, and then Tony Finau. Then I have Russell Henley.
Ugh. Okay.
And then I have Shane Lowry. Then I have Hideki Matsuyama. And last, but certainly not least, Jordan Spieth. I left $400 on the table, DB. So I did not spend $400.
Okay. Rattle that one off for me one more time. Just summarize that.
Corey Connors, Tony Finau, Russell Henley, Shane Lowry, Hideki Matsuyama, Jordan Spieth.
Okay. We have some guys who are similar. I did not leave any salary on the table, although I think you totally can in a major for cash. I think that's fine.
Well, and in this major too, where there's
yeah.
Okay.
I'll start at the top. I went Xander. Xander is a absolute lock for me. Xander at 99. Then I went like you with Hideki at 9. Then I went Cam Young, 85. Then I went like you, Shane Lowry. And then like you, Corey Connors. Then I went Siwoo Kim, 7,100. So we have Connors together. We have Lowry and Hideki. So it's going to come down to Finau,
Henley.
Xander, Young, and Siwoo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love those three versus Finau, Henley, and Spieth. Okay. All right. So cash lineup battle between me and you. We'll do a little maybe we'll do a little $20 something head to head or something like that. We can do that. We spun the wheel for the betting show. God, one of us is gonna have to wash our mouth out with soap.
Yes.
For the betting show. So that should be fun. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm excited for the week. It's going to be another great Masters.
Yeah.
You know,
Discord's going to be huge. Discord's going to be crucial this week. Get in there, get involved. Thanks to Swannies, TJ25 for 25% off. Thanks to Bet the Number. Everything by Bet the Number here was just awesome. So thanks to them. Code TJ gets you $5 off monthly, $50 off annual memberships. Underdog, so bet. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, do all the stuff for the contest. Have a great week. May your screens be green. See ya.